January 15, 2009. It was a cold winter afternoon in New York City. Passengers boarded a routine flight from New York to Charlotte, North Carolina. Business travelers, families, ordinary people heading home. For most of them, it would be just another flight. But within minutes, something would happen that no one on board would ever forget. At the controls was a veteran pilot with over 4 decades of flying experience. His name was Captain Chesley Sullenberger, and in just a few minutes, he would face one of the most impossible decisions a pilot could ever make. At 3:25 p.m., the Airbus A320 lifted off from LaGuardia Airport. The aircraft climbed steadily over the skyline of New York. Passengers relaxed into their seats. Some opened laptops. Others looked out the window at the towering buildings below. Everything seemed perfectly normal. Inside the cockpit, Captain Sullenberger and his co-pilot monitored the instruments as the plane continued to climb. Then suddenly, something appeared in the sky ahead, a large flock of birds. Before the pilots could react, the aircraft flew directly into them. The engines roared violently, then something terrifying happened. Both engines failed. The sudden silence was chilling. A passenger jet relies entirely on its engines to stay in the air. Without them, it quickly becomes a heavy glider. Inside the cockpit, warning alarms began to sound. The aircraft was losing altitude rapidly. Smoke and vibrations filled the cabin. Passengers began to realize something was wrong. But no one yet understood just how serious the situation had become. Captain Sullenberger now had only seconds to make a life-or-death decision. 155 lives were in his hands. Air traffic controllers immediately offered a solution: return to LaGuardia Airport. But Captain Sullenberger quickly ran the calculations in his mind. The aircraft was too low. It would never make it back. Another airport was suggested, but again, there simply wasn't enough altitude. If the plane tried to reach land, it would likely crash into buildings in one of the most crowded cities in the world. At that moment, Captain Sullenberger made a decision that would change aviation history. He looked ahead and saw the wide, icy waters of the Hudson River. He calmly told the controller, "We're gonna be in the Hudson." The powerless aircraft glided silently over Manhattan. Passengers stared out the windows in disbelief. They could see the buildings getting closer, closer, closer. Some began sending final text messages to their loved ones. Flight attendants prepared the cabin for an emergency landing. Inside the cockpit, Captain Sullenberger focused completely on the aircraft. Every second mattered. Every movement had to be perfect. There would be no second chance. From the moment the engines failed, only 208 seconds passed. Just over 3 minutes. In that short time, Captain Sullenberger carefully guided the aircraft downward. The plane approached the Hudson River. The wings had to remain perfectly level. If one wing touched the water first, the aircraft could flip and break apart. Thousands of people along the river watched in shock. A passenger jet was about to land on the water. At exactly 3:31 p.m., the aircraft touched the surface of the Hudson River. Water exploded around the fuselage. But the landing was incredibly smooth. The plane slid across the river before finally coming to a stop. For a brief moment, everything was silent. Then passengers realized something unbelievable. They were alive. The aircraft had landed safely. The freezing water quickly began to fill parts of the aircraft. Passengers climbed onto the wings as they waited for help. Ferries, boats, and emergency responders rushed toward the plane. Within minutes, rescuers began pulling passengers from the icy water. Despite the freezing temperatures, every single passenger and crew member survived. All 155 people made it out alive. It was nothing short of a miracle. News of the incredible landing spread across the world within hours. People were amazed. A powerless passenger jet had safely landed in a river in the middle of New York City. Aviation experts later confirmed something remarkable. Captain Sullenberger's decision had been exactly right. If he had attempted to reach the airport, the aircraft likely would have crashed into the city. His calm judgment had saved every life on board. The event became known as the Miracle on the Hudson. Captain Chesley Sullenberger became a symbol of calm leadership under pressure. But when asked about the heroism of that day, he gave credit to everyone involved. The crew, the rescuers, the passengers. Together, they turned what could have been a tragedy into one of the greatest survival stories in aviation history. Sometimes, heroism isn't loud. Sometimes, it's simply the ability to stay calm when everything else is falling apart. And on that cold January day in New York, 155 lives were saved in just 208 seconds.